everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is on the topic of flexible adhesives for use in a landscaping application that come in a tube form. So the product that we have discovered about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago comes from a company called Stonetex, which do a wide range of products that we use for different aspects of our landscaping duties. But the one product that impressed us the most from the get-go was this MSP600. So what is this product and how can it work for you as a landscaper or a DIY doing your landscaping project out on site for a customer at home in your own garden? The first thing I want to say about the product is what it's described as. So it's described as a flexible, the very brief description here is a flexible, high-tack, final strength product, UV and water resistant, and it is permanently elasticated. So when it goes hard, there is a flexible element to it, which means in the use of natural stones, concrete blocks, any types of paving, as that product warms up and cools down in your landscaping setting throughout the year with the weather that we have, that this product is elasticated enough to move with those products. So it's not a rigid, solid, strong product that will, once contraction or expansion occurs, it will crack off and break the seal that this has created. So that's the first thing to say about the product. The really good thing about the product itself is the colour range that it comes in. So whether you're using your granite type stones like we have here, whether you're using somewhere in relation to some wood or close to a railway sleeper, if you're using some of the grey sandstones that we have here, if you're into some of your lighter colours, or you even want a clear finish maybe around some eco drains or things like that where you don't want any colour showing at all. There's a colour match there to suit all aspects of the job. So we start off with a clear, we have a white, we have a complete black colour, we've got two greys, a darker grey and a kind of an off-whitey similar to your granite, and then we've got a brown coloured adhesive as well. So that's the colour range that it comes in. It comes in your handy silicone type gun situation where it pops in. You've got a nozzle that you can reduce down in size to the size of bead that you want to use. Fits into the cartridge, into the gun. The cartridge fits into the gun, and away you go. It does seal up a little bit at the end when you stop using it, but a simple little, like a pointy screwdriver, and take out the little bit that's gone hard, and you've your material is clear in the tube, so it's not going to go solid in the tube. Only the last maybe 3-4 mils will go solid in the top there. So it's very reusable from job to job. It's something that we carry around. We carry tubes of this around all the time. Every job we go to, we have a tube of this, a couple of tubes of this in a gun with us, no matter what we're doing, and we find use for it nearly every day. It's a really, really good product. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of how this product can aid you as the landscaper or the DIYer. So where do we use this on a daily basis? So a couple of the little things that we would do. For instance, we may be building a doorstep, we may be building a small little wall area where we've clad a wall with some of the products that you see here, like your natural stone cladding there. So you've got Kilkenny limestone, or we could be into some sandstone type material like this where you've clad a wall. And yes, on a large project or a large area, you will get bags of flexible outdoor adhesive. And that's great when you mix up a batch of a bucket load and you're working away there on meters and meters all day. But always on a project, you're going to have a small area, 2 or 3 areas in a garden where you're waiting on an electrician to fit a light, or you're waiting on maybe a little electrical box to go in, or it could be just something where there's a bit of painting to be done and you have to stay back from an edge of a wall, or whatever it may be, a little bit of plaster work to go in. And you're going to have a few stones that need to go in. And in some cases, maybe the adhesive you've put on didn't cure properly, or it got a little bit dry, or a bit of water got in and it didn't make it adhere properly, and that's the 1 or 2 stones may have come loose, or even in the case of got damaged by somebody driving a machine into it, or someone spilling paint on, maybe a painter's in, damaged a bit of stonework. So you can pop off the stone, and with a little simple bead of this on the back, you can reapply that stone. So again, you're not bringing a bag of material to mix up. You take your tube out of the van, a couple of squirts of this product on, smear it across the stone, and on you go, job done. So that's kind of some of the applications there where you will use this. When you get down to little eco drains and around AJs and hopper heads and things in the ground, again, where it's very hard and very intricate paving going in, if you're into some real fine detail, maybe little borders in paving, things like that. You can also, if you have a concrete bed underneath and the slab has been taken up or has come loose, little bead of this product down, tap it in with the use of your rubber mallet. Just give a couple of little taps down, make sure it's bedded nice and solid, re-grout the paving in, and again, you're home and dry without having to go and mix up cement, the whole works to get the job finished. So again, it's a very, very, very handy little product there. So let me just show you a typical example of where we would use this product. So I hope you can see this here. We're just using granite here because we've got a couple of different items of different products in the granite range. So let's just say this is your typical paved area here. So you've got a nice paved area gone in, and you're finished up to where you've got a step going on to a new lawn, or you may have a set of steps going up to a second level in the garden. And I get asked this quite a lot by people in the trade. Oh, I've never built steps before and I'm a little bit worried on how to do it, and they get into all sorts of complications and they make the job really, really hard on themselves. This is how simple it can be done. One of two ways, right? We're with the granite product here, so we'll use the granite as a scenario, but we might swap back then to a different type material in a second. So you've your granite paving gone in, and you've ascertained where the first step must go in. Excuse me. You've also ascertained the amount of steps. So let's just make it simple in this case. You've got one step going in. So we've got 150mm granite curb here, right? So it's very, very well sawn, cut with a kind of a brush hammered finish on it. But that's what we're going to use in this case as a rise for our step. So we know that we've 150 there, and then we're going to come along with our paving on top again, which is 20mm. So we're into a kind of a 170 scenario there for a step, which is adequate enough. 180 to 130, 140, 150 is usually what's acceptable in a garden. So just for the use of this material today, we're going to set up this kind of a small step area. Right, so again, we've come along, we've worked out the line as to where our first riser must go in. So it's very simple. We've marked our line on the ground, so we know where it's going in. Bearing in mind that this slab has been laid on a wet mix, so it's well adhered to the ground and the base underneath, so you have a good foundation to build on. So you simply come along and we apply a good size bead in a zigzag fashion like this across, to make sure we've got plenty of material and plenty of contact with both surfaces. So once we've applied the material, the adhesive, we come along with our granite rise, place it down, line that up with the line that we've put on the ground. Then use for rubber mallet, then just lightly tap down on the area to make sure that, and you will actually see if you start to pull against that there. Let me just go around to the other side. Obviously this paving isn't stuck down, but that's the resistance that I've created straight away. As you can see, I was almost able to pick the paving up off the ground. So that's the instant tack effect that you get from that product. So again, we'll tap this down. Obviously with that, when it comes to levelling this step, the material underneath has to be level. So you will have to bear that in mind when you were putting in your paving, that you will have that paving at that zone level, so that your step will be level and will carry on from there. So again, we drop on our level and we check that we are level, but obviously the fact that the saw and cut material is precisely cut to a 150, it's going to have to be in resemblance to the paving underneath, because we have a very small bead of depth of material bonding the two together. So now you will see you have a very clean line, granite on granite, right? The next thing then is we're going to go with our tread, and our tread could be any size. You could be going 600 by 600, you could be going 900, you could be going 300, it totally depends, and obviously you'll have worked out that scenario with the amount of steps going in, and you can balance the thing out a bit. So just for the purpose of this video, we're going to use a small little piece of granite again. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's sawn cut straight edged, whether it's your slightly thicker bullnose granite, doesn't matter what material it is. It could be sandstone, it could be porcelain even, or any of those products out there, your Egyptian limestone, doesn't make any difference what the product is, just granite today for ease of application. So again, we come along, this being our rise, and we come along then again with another bead of product in a zigzag fashion, so we're getting a good even spread across the top of the product like this. Now at this stage, it's something I can't demonstrate here today, but obviously it will be quite important, and it needs to be said. You have put in your rise of your step. It's a nice solid chunk of material, so it's quite stable. As you've seen, it's quite well adhered to the surface without it even curing, just as an initial contact it is made. What you do then after that is, behind this step then we would need to put concrete in, or a very, very strong sand and cement mix. What I would generally do is make up a pretty dry concrete mix. We would pack it in behind this step up to within, maybe 30 mils of the surface, and we'd use a little packer to pack that in to make sure it's gone, nice and solid behind the step area. We would make sure we've screeded it off level, or with a slight fall to let water cast off the step. When we've done that then, we mix up a mixture of wet sand and cement, your typical bedding layer for your paving slab, and you will spread that behind the slab on top of your dry mix concrete, bringing it up to make sure it makes a good solid contact with your paving and adhere to the paving. But on top of your rise, you were using the Stonetex MSP600 to bond your step in this fashion here. So we place on our rise, our tread on top of our riser. Now, two things. Obviously this will have adhered to the MSP here, but it also will have bed down into the mortar behind. So again, we need to use our mallet, we need to use our level to ensure that we're staying level, which we obviously are going to be, because we've started off level. We're going to keep that going out throughout the staircase. We use our level in the other direction to see have we got a fall, so the water won't lie on the step, it'll cascade down off of it. And again, we'll use a mallet throughout the slab to ensure that we've made proper contact down onto the step again. And again, let's just have a quick play with this here. Again, you will see the resistance is quite hard, and it's not so easy for that to move straight away. So again, we'll tap that back on. Now, people say to me, oh, how do we get this right and get it squared up and all? Again, you have a level in your hand, you're using your level on the job all day. The level, just in this case, is about 20 mils wide, right? It's a small level for small little detail work. Very simply, place your level in, line it up just to give you a 20 mil overhang. Now obviously if you wanted a bigger overhang, maybe you're putting on cladding stone, which we'll look at in a second, maybe you're doing a bull-nosed edge material. Again, with the use of one of these tools here, a bull-nose edger, you can maybe create your own bull-nose edge. But we're going with a nice contemporary clean look here. So as I said, we use the level as a way of guaranteeing that we have a 20 mil overhang straight across our surface. So now we've created a doorstep, or a step up to a garden, or whatever it may be. Obviously the depth being governed in. We can then come along then, very simply, and we can do the very same thing again, cast in our distance, come along with our rise again. That being a bigger rise now, but just to demonstrate again, we can apply our rise, our tread, and away we go. And steps can be created in this scenario. Maybe you might get in 2 steps in the day or 3 steps in the day. Because you're working on dry mix, you're working with the glue to create the adhesion down here, and then obviously you're working on a wet mix to hold the slab in behind, and then the slab having a large footprint, whether it be 3, 4, 600 mils, 800 mils, whatever you've cut down, you've got a wide area of surface spread on the ground. It's going to be quite stable that you can build the next step on. If you were building this with wet sand and cement, you're going to be restricted. You're going to run out of usable space. The ground will the mortar will be wet, it will be oozing out, and if you were doing too much compaction and work on that doorstep or that series of steps, the whole thing is going to shift on you. With this, as you can see, as you're going along, it's quite stable. It doesn't take, it takes very well to a bit of movement and a bit of tapping as you're building away on the step. But the one thing that appeals to me the most about this is the lovely clean line that you've created. So you don't have any, up here where the joint is made, you don't have any mortar there that can ooze out, where you've got lime spill out of the cement running down onto the face of your stone. In the case of granite, not so much a problem, but if you're using some of your black type material stone, obviously that's going to be an issue for you, right? So that's using your granite type material, where you're going to go with granite rise, granite tread, and away you go. So let's just look at a different scenario, where you're going to go with maybe a cladding stone. So let's just see, can we make a bit of room here to operate? Let's spin this around this way. So the different scenario that we're going to show you here now is that you may want to do something where you're going to use some cladding stone instead of you want your granite rise. So you've got some of your slip type material, maybe you've got some of your sawn cut granite, different types of granite, brown granite, grey granite. Maybe you've got some limestone like what we have here. Maybe you've got some sandstone, or some of the pre-manufactured slabs of stone that you can put on to create a stone effect wall. So in that scenario, very same thing applies. You have your paving material down, whatever it may be. You come along with your concrete block. You put a good bead of material all across the block, bed it down to the paving. Very same scenario we've just gone through, except you're using a concrete block in this scenario because you're going to clad that. Now, you then come along with your stone. So in this case here, we've got Kilkenny limestone, which we've sawn down. This is a piece left over from a job. And as you can see, it's a lovely stone with a bit of glitter and gloss to it there. And when it's wet, it's a very rich looking product. So again, we come along, we get our bead of material, very simply, good bead of material across the stone, and we apply it to the face of the stone, or to the concrete block, tap it on, and again, we've made a very good seal there straight away without the product actually gone 100% solid. Now we come along then, where we're going to go with our thread again. Very same thing applies. Bead of material or adhesive on here for our material to adhere to. Wet mix, dry mix and wet mix behind. And again we can come along then with a thread of our step, and we can give an overhang for our stone step to go in. So that we can now have, let it be just in this scenario, granite paving. We might want a nice stone tread, because there might be a boundary wall or a retaining wall going to the left and the right of these steps, where it's for raised planters or whatnot, or you're holding back a lawn area behind. Excuse me. And we can come along, we can use that material that's running through. Again, some guys out there may want to use a brick. Again, if you would have to lay the rise of the steps in brick with wet mortar, it's going to be a very slow process. You're going to have to put in your foundation, build your brick, and you're going to have to wait for that brick to cure and go hard before you can put in definitely your second step or third step, but the first step also, and you're going to have to wait and let all that cure for the step to go in. But in this scenario, if you have got brick slips to match the bricks you're using, or you are equipped with a bridge saw or a table saw, you can rip the face off the brick, 20 mil deep, whatever it may be, and you can put on bricks onto your blockwork with this adhesive, which will give you the same effect as the coarser bricks running through all your walls. It's adhered to the block, you have a nice solid surface, you can lay on your paving material and you can get your steps built a lot quicker. Yes, some people might say, oh, that's a bit of a cheat. No, it's not. This product is designed with massive strength, and we have used this product for years and years and years in this scenario, and we have never had an issue. We have put on paving slabs, and we will do this in a video. We will stick it on with sand and cement. We'll stick it on with a flexible tile adhesive, and we'll stick it on with this product here, and we will show you where we have had scenarios in gardens where we've capped the wall of a water feature. Was one that comes to mind where a carpenter was in doing some repairs to a roof, coming down off his ladder, dropped his hammer, hit the corner of a granite paving slab and broke a chunk out of it. And the customer asked us when we were passing someday, come in and replace it. So we brought, in this case it was 600 by 300 granite paving slab laid on top of a wall with, it actually had Kilkenny limestone as the rise of the wall around the water feature. And we came in and we had to use a nail bar, and we had to use a cold chisel and a lumb hammer, and we had to actually break that slab broke into 4 or 5 parts being removed from that wall. Now, any out there that are familiar with sand and cement, it's never really a good idea to use sand and cement to bond it in that situation, because you will find it will come, invariably you get a few slabs to come loose. So in this scenario, this is the way to go. It is a very, very strong product. Yes, there are probably other products out there that are similar, and there are probably products out there maybe even better, but I'm just talking to you about our experience with, we just have a nickname on this. It's always bring 2 tubes of Stonetex with you. That's what we say, but the proper title is the MSP600. So I hope that video is of some use to you. I hope that maybe makes a little bit more sense of building a step, maybe using some cladding, brick cladding, stone cladding, whatever it is. There's wide and many other uses for this product throughout a landscaping job. That's just highlighting 1 or 2 of the ideas that we've come across, the most readily used and the most labour saving things that we've had to come across throughout our number of years of using this product. So again, look out for the product. I'm sure it's readily available. A lot of the paving centres throughout Ireland carry the Stonetex range and can have this product available. Yes, to be very fair, at initial point of sale you will say that's quite a dear product. It is somewhere in the region of, I think, €9.50, €10 a tube in Ireland here. Obviously in sterling that'll be a little bit less than that, but I have to say, well worth the money. If you use the product, try it out in a few scenarios, you will soon see how it will speed up your operation of doing these type of tasks. And in my book, it won't let you down. Obviously using it in the correct amount and getting a good surface contact with it, but it does what it says on the tin. Thank you very much for joining us on this video. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen here today, and it may be of some help to you. I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed and for the lovely comments and messages we received in support of what we're doing. It's brilliant to receive that. I'd like you to hit the subscribe button and ring the little bell if you would like to receive notifications as to the next video that will be coming along quite soon. So till the next time, thank you very much. Just one final thing, I was asked to give a little bit of a shout out there. Had a great discussion last night with Shane O'Dea from Shane O'Dea Landscapes and Rob Malloy from RK Groundworks, and I know these guys a while. It was a bit of a catch up last night. They're from different parts of the country, and we sat down and had a bit of a chit chat about the landscaping world. So just a little bit of a shout out to those guys, and also a bit of a shout out to anyone else who was giving me a bit of a thumbs up and a bit of a backing and support on this journey that we're taking through our YouTube channel. So till the next time, take care, talk to you soon, bye bye.